What's up, everybody? This is Tamara. Welcome to Tam Psych Advice. Remember to hit the bell notification so you know when I create a new video. You'll be the first to see it. Also, remember to subscribe and share my videos with your friends. So, before we get started, I got a joke for you. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. Yeah, well, I'm an ENFJ, and sometimes I'm funny. Most of the times I'm not. But if I'm in the right mood with the right people, in the right space, in the right energy, I think I can be kind of funny. How about you? What's your Myers-Briggs type, and are you funny? And if you're an ENFJ, do you think that you're funny? So I'm going to share with you some things today that I thought was pretty hilarious. So have you met any funny people lately, or are you one of those funny people? If someone told you a joke lately, or you had a funny occurrence, put it in the comment section. Sometimes it's nice to just laugh about silly things or even something interesting. I was listening to a YouTube live recently with a lady who is normally quite serious. In fact, I thought maybe she's an INTP or something. Well, now I think she might be an ESTP. Why? Because she decided to start telling all these different stories one day. And, sometimes ESTPs can be the best at telling stories. I was totally engaged. So I'll share one with you, and I'd love your feedback on what you do in this scenario. And from an ENFJ scenario perspective, sometimes the things that other people don't think are funny, I think are funny. Like Waterboy. I don't know if you guys ever have seen that movie. It's kind of an old movie now, but I remember when I watched it, with a bunch of people, I was cracking up at parts that they didn't crack up at. And then the things that they were laughing at, I didn't laugh at all. So my sense of humor might be a little different than yours. Sometimes I tend to be amused at the person who's telling it. So anyway, back to the lady. So I think she might be an ESTP because she started to tell all these different stories, and sometimes they can be the best at storytelling. And for some reason, I was totally just hooked. So anyway, I'll share one of the stories. If you let me know what you think in the comments. Like, do you think that this was funny? You probably won't, but here we go. So she said she was riding her bike one day, and apparently where she lives, you're not supposed to ride your bike on the sidewalk, or maybe it was just the area she was in. I don't know the laws or the rules on that kind of stuff. So she was riding her bike on a sidewalk, and an 80-year-old man comes up to her, grabs her handlebars, and starts grimacing and yelling at her, telling her to get off. You're not supposed to ride your bike on this sidewalk. Well, she starts fighting with the man and physically removes his hands off of her handlebars. I don't know why, but just picturing the scenario just cracked me up. Would you fight with an 80-year-old man? I asked a couple of random people because in my mind, I think I'd give the 80-year-old respect, and it would probably catch me off guard that he was arguing and fighting with me. I asked a couple of people, would you fight an 80-year-old man in this situation? They immediately at the same time, to my shock, said, absolutely. I don't care if he's 80 years old. If he grabbed my handlebars, I would definitely knock his hands off. He could make me fall. You're not touching my bike. No way, sir. Of course, I fell out laughing again. It's just something naturally funny about people and just their antics, mannerisms, their train of thought, the way that they think, the way that they do things. I don't know. Like, there's something I think ENFJs just find amusing about people that might not make sense to other people. I would personally never fight an 80 or 90-year-old. I might not like that he put his paws on my handlebars, but I think I'd try to reassure him and ease out of that situation as respectfully as I could. I don't think I could argue with him. How would you handle that scenario? And I'm laughing because after that, I asked my mom, who's an INT. She's an INTJ, and she pretty much had the same reaction. I think why it's funny to me is because they're disregarding his age. Like, they don't care. They're just like, I mean, and it's funny because all of these people, like the first group of people that I asked, they were actually SPs. And it's like they disregard the fact that he's in his 80s. They don't care about that. It's just the fact that he dared to put his hands on someone's handlebars. And what's also funny is that they're actually willing to put themselves in that other person's shoes, into the scenario as though it's happening to them. And nobody's reaction has been very kind or very nice. But, hey, what would you do if an 80-something-year-old put his hands on your handlebars? Like, how would you handle the situation? So the lady told another funny story about how when she lived in an apartment, the manager had come over and fixed something in her home. He came over the next day because he wanted to see his hard work and make sure that what he had done to her apartment was working. She told him when he rang the doorbell, she opened up the door and she told him, he asked, "Can I come in?" She told him, "Not now. You can come back later." Well, somehow that led to an altercation, and before she knew it, he was pulling on one of the sides of the screen door, and she was pulling on the other. The man ended up riding on the screen door as she managed to slam it shut with him on it. She said she doesn't understand how she always ends up in situations like these. Of course, she was actually cracking up while she was telling these stories, and it made me see her in a different light, a funny light. And there's something about humor. I mean, it's just a lot of people won't even date someone or consider a serious relationship with someone unless the person is funny. And why do you think that is? Put that in the comment section. Why is the number one thing I think that people say when you're asking them, what do you want in a relationship? They always say, the person has to be funny. They have to have a sense of humor. Why is that? So I don't know why I thought her stories were hilarious. I just need a good laugh every now and then. How about you? What's something that's made you laugh lately? Please share your funny tales with us in the comment section, and let me know if there are any topics that you would like me to talk about in my videos, and I might just do it. So be sure to hit the bell notification, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, funny people.